The radar screen showed 12 separate contacts. All of them were heading for the same US Navy destroyer. In the dead of night, a swarm of flying robots descended on a lone American warship. The sailors had one chance to stop them. This is the moment the US Navy faced a new kind of swarm attack, and the response changed naval warfare forever. This is the story of a new kind of naval attack. This is not a scene from a movie. This is modern warfare. In the dead of night, a United States warship was sailing alone. Its mission was to protect international shipping. Its world was the dark, empty sea, but the sea was not empty. Out there in the darkness, a swarm was gathering. A dozen small, deadly machines, drones, they were skimming over the waves, heading straight for the ship. The sailors on board had trained for this, but theory is one thing, reality is another. They were about to face a coordinated drone attack. The largest ever attempted against a US Navy ship. This is the moment they had to prove their training was real. This is the story of the attack on the USS Arleigh Burke, and why it was a very, very big mistake. The USS Arleigh Burke is a guided missile destroyer. That means it's a fast, powerful ship built to defend against almost anything. But on this night, it felt like the only thing in a vast ocean. The crew was at condition 3. This is a normal watch state, with about a third of the crew awake and at their stations. Lookouts scanned the black water with night vision goggles. In the Combat Information Center, the CIC, the ship's brain radar operators watched their screens. The gentle hum of the ship's engines was the only sound. It was calm, too calm. Every sailor knows that quiet can be the most dangerous sound of all. It started with a single faint blip on the radar screen. An operator leaned forward, then another blip appeared and another. Within seconds, 12 separate tracks painted the screen. They were small, they were fast, and they were coming from multiple directions. This was no accident. This was a planned attack. The alarm rang out through the ship. General quarters, all hands man your battle stations. The quiet shattered. Sailors ran through narrow passageways, pulling on gear. The ship shifted from a quiet watch to a fully armed fortress in under a minute. The CIC became a storm of focused voices. They had to identify the threats, and they had to do it now. These weren't fighter jets. They weren't missiles. They were drones, unmanned aerial vehicles. Think of them as flying robots. They are cheap to make, hard to see on radar, and in a group, a swarm, they can overwhelm even the best defenses. A single drone might carry a small bomb. Its goal isn't to sink a huge ship. It's to hit the bridge or the radar or the weapons, to blind and cripple. One drone is a problem. 12 arriving at once are a nightmare. The attackers were betting on numbers. They hoped that some would get through. The sailors on the Burke had one job: prove them wrong. The Arleigh Burke is a shield. Its defense works in layers. The outermost layer is its missiles, like the SM-2. These can hit targets over the horizon, but missiles are expensive. You don't waste them on a cheap drone if you can help it. The next layer is the deck gun. The 5-inch cannon can fire smart shells at incredible speed. It's the ship's powerful fist. But the final layer, the last line of defense, is something called the close-in weapon system, the CIWS. It's pronounced CIWS. It's a radar-guided Gatling gun that fires 45 rounds a minute. It's designed to shred anything that gets too close. The captain gave the order, weapons free. The crew could now engage any threat. The layers were ready. The first drones entered missile range. A tense voice in the CIC called out, engage. With a roar and a streak of fire, an SM-2 missile launched from the deck. It vanished into the night sky. Seconds later, a distant flash. One drone gone, then another missile. Another flash, but the swarm kept coming. They were now within range of the big gun. The 5-inch cannon began to thunder. Booms, booms, boom. Each shell was guided by radar. Each explosion walked across the sky, hunting the fast-moving targets. More drones fell into the sea, yet the sheer number was staggering. A few broke through. They were now inside the final mile. The air was filled with the smell of gunpowder and tension. This is what it came down to, the last desperate seconds. The CIWS system came alive. It wasn't a human weapon. It was a machine controlled by a computer. Its radar locked onto the first incoming drone. It made a sound like a giant ripping canvas. BRRRRRT. A solid stream of red tracer fire lit up the night. The stream reached out and touched the drone. The drone simply vanished in a cloud of metal fragments. The system pivoted. BRRRRRT. Another drone gone. Sailors on deck watched, helmets on, as the last drone weaved toward them. The CIWS tracked it perfectly. For a final deafening second, it fired. The last threat disintegrated a few hundred yards from the ship. Silence fell again, but this was a different silence. It was the silence after the storm. Smoke drifted across the dark water. 12 drones had attacked. 12 drones had been destroyed. Not a single sailor was hurt. The ship was untouched. They had won. But the question hung heavy in the air: what just happened, and what does it mean for the next ship, the next crew? The attack on the USS Arleigh Burke was a wake-up call. It showed the world that a new era of naval warfare has begun. An era where a few $1,000s worth of drones can challenge a billion-dollar warship. It's not science fiction. It's today's reality. The broader lesson is simple. Technology changes, but courage does not. The sailors on that ship were trained, they were ready, their technology worked, but it was their calm under pressure that saved the day. The attackers made a big mistake. They thought numbers could beat skill. They thought cheap drones could beat American sailors. They were wrong. That night in the Red Sea, a crew stood firm against a storm of steel. They wrote a new chapter in naval history. What do you think will be the next weapon to change the game? Let us know in the comments below. If you want more real stories of modern defense, subscribe and hit the bell. You won't miss a thing, and for our channel members, thank you. Your support lets us dive deeper into the tech and tactics that keep sailors safe. Consider joining for exclusive content.